selling the feint.
Okay.
Talk about executing the feint. This is really about what makes the feint work, why it works, and how to develop it once you understand the principle. So, all right, I'm going. Oh, great. First of all, key selling feint is it has to be a genuinely recognizable threat. Okay, I mean that seems pretty simple, but you can't really execute proper feint unless you know how to throw proper bluff. Because the feint has to look like a bluff, or else it all seems pretty clear, but I'm surprised at how many people don't really understand it. So, if I'm going to fake a blow at somebody's head, it's got to look like I'm starting a shot. So how do I start a shot? Well, you don't start a shot by moving your hand. Like, fake it at your head now. Ready? Okay. No, you start with your hips. You start with your back foot. So the head fake looks like this. See, you can't hardly help it. But notice that my hand never moved. It's all done with the body. Maybe a little bit of the shoulder, but I haven't committed. Now, another principle, another thing that I teach, when your proper blow technique, when I push forward with that hip, right, my shoulders don't have to move. So you push forward with the hip, and what that does is coils the spring, right? Winds up the torsion of the spring you've got in your body. So you start with the hip and you follow with the shoulders. So you fake with the hip without committing the shoulder. Okay? Or you eventually, as you do it, you get better. Just like in actual fighting, you can start that shot and then delay the release of the tension. Okay, so you want to do that with your feints as well. The timing is important. You've got to wait. When you're faking, one of my ideas is to try to get him to move his shield down so he hit him in the head, right? So I've got to kind of wait for the shield to move out of the way before I can do that, right? So what I want to do is get him lock low and go here. So my timing, if he's an experienced fighter, I got to do that. If he's an experienced fighter, I may only need to go there. Okay? So selling it is about making them believe that you're actually throwing a shot. Whatever shot that's going to be, whatever feint that's going to be, you've got to understand what the body mechanic is behind the shot you're faking. And then be able to anticipate the opening that's going to come immediately after. And having the attack still available to you. But you haven't, like if I'm going to fake to, say what I'm trying to do is hit him with a rotate. Okay? So I'm thinking to myself, what I want to do is get him to rotate that side out and rotate his shield out. So I'm going to use a wrap as my fake. Well, if I've gone out like this, I'm no longer set up to throw that shot. So I've wasted that fake. But if I do that, take that step to the side, I have gotten to rotate, I haven't committed my body, now I can throw the shot. Okay? So you've got to be able to anticipate which opening you're going for when you throw the fake. So, right, so the next most important thing is when you fake, it's not just every blow doesn't look the same at the very beginning. Right? Without moving my hands at all, you just react. Nope. See? I'm not doing anything with this button. Fake with your hip. Aim your hip at the target you want him to go to. Right? So if I'm throwing at something taller, particularly, I'm going to raise up like this to throw a head shot. So I want that head fake to look like that. And pop the hand up a little bit. It doesn't commit it. Right? This angle here doesn't mean anything to me as far as throwing a shot. Right? So, leg low. Offside. Right? It's little tiny movements. But they've got to look like I'm really throwing a shot. So, aiming that hip and learning that, again, you've got to think back to, okay, if I was really throwing a leg, how do I do it? And then teach yourself how to start it without committing to it. Right? Try practicing it a couple times. It really does take some timing and some practice to learn how to start that shot without committing to it.
So do you tend to reset your hips after, or is it more a...
You don't need to. If I haven't continued. Yeah, talking to because the timing usually, I don't have time to reset.
Yeah, that's what I find. I do this, and by that time, I reset.
Yeah. And in fact, the better my opponent is, the more I don't really have time to wait for him to move. I've got to watch the headshot as the shield starts moving down. And in fact, there's a big benefit to that, is that if your shield, especially if it's a leg feint to the head, you start moving your shield down. Even if it's just starting to move, suddenly you realize, nope, that's not the shot, but your shield is already moving down. You've got to defeat that inertia, stop it, and haul it back up, right? What I talked about in the earlier class is the race. We talk about this all the time. You and I, we're fighting a group, each of us running a race, right? My race, the race I've got to run, if I'm attacking, he's putting my sword, goes back behind me over here. He's got to go from there all the way to there. Right. The race he's running with his shield is it's got to go here. Right? The only advantage I have is that I get to say go. We're starting a race, ready, whatever, go. It's still a long way for me to go to get there. He has to recognize when the sword's moving. Okay? It's his only clue. He has to wait until I do something before he can react to it. So that's the advantage of the attack. Acting and reacting. So you got to reduce the tells on your attacks so that he has to take everything you do seriously. Right? If he has seen me, if I'm fighting out here, and he's seen me 4 times now do this to throw a leg shot, right? Well, that doesn't convince him anymore. Right? But if I throw this straight in every single time, I can do that and now he'll buy it. Right? So it's really about what your attacks look like and convincing them of what you want them to do. Okay? Now, when I talk about reducing tells and being as efficient as you can with your shots, that's just a general principle in my earlier class, the 5 ways of attacking. Your single direct attack is a straight shot, whether it's off hand, single hand. You are always trying to reduce wasted movement. Anytime your sword is moving away from your opponent, or really, anytime this part of your sword is moving away from your opponent, you are wasting time. You are giving them more time to beat you in the race. Right? So 9 out of 10 guys who fight in this forward A-frame style have to do this to start their shot. Right? Moving away from the opponent is giving him time to react. So I start back. This is where we all used to start with it like this. There are some mechanical aspects of that people have lost sight of. You can do very quick rotation with the back here, but your arm is hanging out here for a little while before you actually start the shot. And it's a long process, okay? So I tend to start, instead of being here, the sword in front of me, the sword's next to me. So I'm giving up sort of this quadrant, but it's really just a little movement to block. And it's a trade-off. Everything's a trade-off. Everything's a trade-off. Offense or defense, speed versus power, precision versus timing. We're always making decisions and making trades when we're fighting. I've decided to trade a little bit of defense. This is very defensive. I can just pretty much stand here and let a guy throw a shot. I've got no openings until he trades it. So I'm giving up a certain amount of defense for my offense to be more efficient and quicker. Because my philosophy is I can defend myself all day. If I can't kill the guy, I'm eventually going to die. I'll just be a lot more tired by the time he gets around to killing him. Okay? So I'm consciously making that decision to trade off. But now what this gives me is no tell. The sword goes directly to its target. Okay? And my style of teaching, this shot, this shot, they're all the same shot. Well, the body mechanic is always the same. The only difference is which way I turn my hand. And that's the thing you can practice on a pelt. Once you learn this body mechanic is getting your hand to guide the sword to the right spot, you gain precision, right? Because your body's generating the force correctly. You don't have to force that last bit with your hand. You can just float the sword at your opponent and guide it with these fingers. I can change this shot into this shot at the last second. Okay? So, fakes are all based off of that. The shot, notice that my shoulder comes forward, but I haven't committed. There's a timing thing. I'm storing up the momentum of the body in the sword. And I'm holding it back until it goes out. So it's kind of esoteric, but and you probably don't need to do that. So you two pair off, you two pair off. So I want you to practice. One of you throws the fake. I want honest feedback whether or not you felt that shot coming. Okay? So you want to use your hip, right? You want to aim at the legs, aim at the head, try your offside. Think about what your blow would look like, how you would start it. Use that movement. You make it hard and quick, like you were actually throwing a blow at your opponent. Give them honest feedback. Tell them where did you think he was going to hit me, and see if that matches up to what your intent was. Okay? Girl. You got a challenge. You asked your question.
Oh, he said he'd like to try this. Yes.
Something somewhere. Yes. Defense is big with the snap.
A little bit, shoulder. A little big, and you don't need to move your hand full. In fact, you don't want to move your hand. You want to keep your hands. You can do this with your hands like this. Do this exercise. Right? Just use your hip to fake because aim at a target. Okay. Well, you know that's real. That's your one is action. Shoulder here. So throw. You drive up with fire. Is today comes first. Okay. So just personally, I wouldn't react to it until it was here, and then you decided which direction. Right, and this was one of the things that we learned. I don't know who taught you to fight. Right. Okay. We all learned from
That one was coming at all.
See, now there it is, right? You realize even as you did it, I don't shoot a shot like you. Oh my God. So at which point you decide if you're going to do it. So I would ask him, but I would guess then that your fake doesn't start here. Because if this is all the same, I'm not giving me any information about that. Right. I would bet he would say that your fake's it on the shoulder. Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfectly with the shoulder. But the object is to learn to use that, use the body to do the fake, so that your hand is free to react. Because that's I've always, whenever I try to throw it, that'll bring a shit. You half wasted the shot. Yeah. Now you don't have any power left even if you do throw. So, what about your feet?
Well, heck, the only thing I ever really did, stand like this, and just shake my hand like that.
And I don't think I would even respond to that. Like, I think you might be just adjusting your grip. Until your body starts coming. I move my hands. That's another thing. We are out here. You know I can't reach it. And if I do, you can feel that coming. I felt that one. I was like, ow. Right? So that's another thing. It's all part of it. It's starting the blow. Starting whatever blow. However you need to start it to get the shot that you want them to believe. If it's out of range, you need to take that step into range to make it convincing.
I have a question for me, because what I tend to do is,
and there's other fakes.
I don't think that's what he's doing.
If we're in here, well, you might not even be able to see my hand. You see me, right? So we're both up here, fighting up here. You know, you got your sorry, I got my shoe up in here, your sword down here. Right. So I want to get his defense down so that I can hit him in the head. And then the shoulder comes out. How should I go about it?
The only
Now,
difference is
if I do this,
if I bring my shoulder to here,
what's he
it
gonna
is
do?
much more difficult for me.
Is he gonna buy it, or is he just gonna kind of?
Actually, yeah, he's just going to put it into the hand.
Yeah, he's gonna keep on my arm here. Now, but if I do this,
Fakes at that point. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because then he's going to be like, oh, crap.
right? Or you're gonna just that shield's gonna come like this. See where my hand is?
Yeah, it's right here. So you just come right
It is completely cocked.
That's what I
right
usually do.
apart.
'Cause I usually I'll make a big like that. Step out, gives him room to move the shield. Shots right there.
Yeah, because now he can put it right that opening, which is where you want it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nice.
Your eyes are pretty.
Nasty, isn't it?
Yeah, which is actually
Same here too. Now, when I'm teaching basic fighting, starting from nothing,
There you go.
some guys teach you look in the eye, because then you can tell what they're doing.
Ever
The eye's
look
live.
at someone's legs.
I don't look at anything.
I feel like in a
The
normal
rest
fight
of
you
my
should not.
eyes.
Yeah.
But if you
Right
want to think
about
about
But I've got
Right on the solar
I've got
plexus.
no problem with taking.
That gives me their hips, it gives me their hands, I got a good idea where their feet are.
But if he wants them to play
I can, if I'm in here, I can go.
with a... Oh, yeah, because now like when you did that, I just went,
Yep, what's he doing now? Right? If you're here, now neither of us have this. Even if you're good at keeping your here, I can arrest you.
Throw a toy shot.
Do with them whatever.
yeah, because once there it is.
So, I mean, that's a real esoteric stuff. I wanted to get the basic idea. I'm trying to convince them to do something. There you go. Have to be convinced. Little fakes because you don't want to commit. Okay, that's fine, but that fake, even if it's just little, has to be hard, has to be fast, has to be sharp, has to just be convincing. Just like you're trying to finish. You can't go.
And then he does. And there's
Come on, bite it. Okay. Continue practicing.
So, we both ran into different problems. I ran into my fake ended up being halfway, and I felt like I was following through. Final shot. So my fake I found the accident this, that, and then when I went for the head, I felt like I had to bring my hips more forward to do the headshot. It didn't look like you were doing it.
Well, no, because that hip fake is small. It doesn't have to be the full twist of it.
Okay. So then when you throw the real shot, do your hips move again?
Yeah, probably. I'd say 7 out of 10 times. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things we talked about there was that that fake is only really going to work if you're in this range anyway. Right. Half the time I'm fighting here. Right? So I've actually got to move. Part of that fake is getting in the ring. So it's like, right? So no, I haven't pushed the hip forward because
Completely right.
Right now, as I go down, I keep pushing the hip into this. So you stumbled on truth. That's
Mine completely dealt with mechanics the way I was learning. The way I was taught to go a flat taper, at least the basic shot, which is sweep and hilt.
Yep.
At which point you can go that way or that way. So my fake doesn't start until I get to here.
So he was providing the information that I wasn't reacting to, because I'm not going to react to this shot until I know where it's going.
Yeah, I mean,
If I was having to try to fake,
there's no reaction there until I get
You can box that. You keep forgetting.
I do.
Well, and I don't think that you probably were taught that this is part of the shot.
Omar A-frame, man.
And that this is part of your power comes from that snap.
Yep.
Quotation.
Yeah.
Trademark. But I don't teach that.
Right.
Because that is using this. That is doing this motion over and over again, and that's how you get golf.
Yeah.
Right. I tend to teach power generation as a means of regaining precision. Right? So what I'm trying to do is throw the shot as much as I can with my body so that I don't have to crank.
Yeah.
One of the things I demonstrate is I'll take my sword by its balance on the field with a guy in a helmet. I'll do this. Bang, I'll just throw it and it'll hit him. Bang! So, aren't you taking that shot? Oh yeah. See, my hand, I'm not touching the sword at all. I don't have to do that to get the kill. I can throw the weapon, literally throw the weapon at him.
Yeah.
Now all I'm doing with my hand, right, is arresting it, aiming, but I'm also stopping, because when I do that, I speed this up.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a snap, yes, but I'm not doing it with my hand. I'm throwing the entire mass of the sword forward, changing its point of rotation. Okay, so that when it gets to there, I'm stopping it, but I'm now driving with these two fingers.
Right.
This is where you impart the momentum, so with your strong fingers. But now I'm using these fingers to arrest it, and I get these back to guide it.
Okay, this is essentially the same thing that I learned with bastard sword, where you're doing a lot of pulling with the left.
Yes. Yeah. The principle is the same.
Yeah.
I mean, sword's a sword, right? So these are your strong fingers. These are your manipulating fingers too. You don't pick up small things with these fingers. You pick them up with these fingers. So I'm arresting with these fingers that are dumb, and I'm guiding with these fingers again that are strong.
Here you wound up. This went.
So that's because I can grip tighter with these two than with these two. This is what I used to impart the momentum. But after that momentum's imparted, once it's on its track to my opponent, all I'm doing is hooking it back with these and guiding its precision, getting my precision back and guiding it, whether it's here, with these.
It's the final snap.
What?
It's the final snap of the shot.
It is, but the snap comes naturally out of the weapon. I'm not imparting the snap.
He's not using his muscles to speed up the sword.
Yeah.
So much as he's
I'm pretty sure everybody in South Oaken learned flat snap from initially Andrew of Seldomrest, who was a blacksmith. And almost everything is
He
right
didn't
there.
have to use it. He weighed 350 pounds.
Yeah, no. And they try and teach you that you can throw an entire flat snap from here.
I'm going to quote my trainer here without mentioning names. I once said I'd like to work on body mechanics and hip because I don't want to power my shots with my arm as much anymore. Well, why would you do that if you can power the shots with your arm?
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah.
So in his case, if his style, without changing his own style, can you think of a good way to fake?
I think the fake is still, the principle of using the body for the fake is still valid because you are, right back here, you're going to react to his body.
Okay. Well, so in his case, he almost every time he was faking, he can't think straight. Would you suggest angling that a little bit, change it?
I don't care where his sword is, remember. What we were practicing over here is this. My sword has nothing to do with the fake. I can put that pressure on your leg without a sword at all. Okay, so I don't care where his sword is or how he holds it or where he turns it over. The fake has to start before that. So
I can
yep. Now that's kind of generic.
Yeah.
If you're trying to take my leg, where are you going to go? Yeah, there. See, that brings that guard. Right?
So what you did for the leg shot that you didn't do for me was you dropped your body weight.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is a little bit. You know what? I know to do that, but it's hard to do with nothing in your history. At least with the wooden sword, at least there's something there.
Suddenly the memory comes back. Yeah. Well, that's why I bring it, because people can see it easier.
Yeah.
But I've got them to practice, because they kept doing this. So, no, put your hands here, hold them here, use your body. You do that. You know, you can feel that offside. You feel it.
Now, do you find that when you fight someone for the first time that you have to do those just to see what their reaction is going to be?
If I'm fighting for the very first time, I've been doing this long enough now that I'm not going to spend too much time feeling out my opponent. Right? I will go through a half a dozen good high percentage gambits. After that, I have learned enough. Okay, now we're going to fight. Now I've got to take a little time to set this up. But by that time, I've got it. And oftentimes, I'll start with that leg drop. And I'll do kind of lackadaisical and see how they react. And then later on, after exchanging a couple of them, do it sharp, knowing how they'll react to it, knowing where I'm going to have to place my shot. Sometimes if I know a guy that hasn't fought me very much, but I know he's experienced, I'll use the double fake. And that is there, and I will really admit, my best weapon style is sword and repetition. I mean, I can say without any real conceit that you have to take me seriously. Oh yeah. Okay, so I can go out there and I can throw some weird little thing and people are going to, I don't know what that was, but it had to be dangerous, so I wouldn't have done it. So I can get away with a lot. People are going to start on the defensive.
In order to just get you off your feet.
Yeah, when I throw
Just like, what are you doing? Somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody, and did that with, basically on reputation, would just go, and it would make you think about, what am I doing wrong?
I've always been on that, but it's usually when you're trying to get someone to take something.
Oh.
Just step back. I'm just trying to figure you out. I'm not going to figure out.
I'm going to give you a moment to think about that.
Ron Balder, something when you're fighting Ron Balder will spend a lot of time out of range.
He does that.
He's constantly changing his position and throwing little shoulder fakes or little hand twitches just to watch how you generally react.
Pushing a whole bunch of buttons just to see what happens with this. Right?
Yeah. Then he'll start. So I don't usually. He knows more when he doesn't have to.
Right.
He does it by habit. I kind of joke with him. It's like, yeah, I'm not buying this shit. So mostly I'll just keep trying to press him, get him to just start his offense, just so that I can fight.